So the only thing is that we need to have official reports, because I have got it done from a private lab and the endotoxin levels are high in about 40 to 50% of their samples.
I think, sir, we'll begin the thing.
30 seconds. Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
We are live.
Good morning. Yeah. Thanks, Sunil. Good morning to each one of you for sparing your valuable time on this Sunday morning. And very sorry to call this meeting at a short notice. And the reason you see is that something serious was happening all across the country, and AIOS could not be a mute spectator to all these things. And that's the reason you see AIOS discussed me, and therefore I told them that let's have a meeting. And the reason was that there was a recent episodes of inflammatory reaction or TASS, which many members across the country have encountered. And the lead was provided to me by the TASS reporting group at the behest of Dr. Mahipal, and thankful to him. And this group was formed by Dr. Chetan Parekh, and thanks Chetan for all your efforts which you have been doing for creating this awakening amongst the members. Now, the main purpose of today's meeting is not to discuss about TASS and not to discuss about endophthalmitis. This is not a webinar, this is not a class, or this is not an update on any of the IUL procedures or TASS, or we are not going to discuss any of these issues. Bhai kaun kya kar raha hai, kaise kar raha hai, we are not going to discuss that. But my aim and AIOS aim was to take feedback from all these respected members so as to how to move forward. And that is the main issue. Although there has been, reports, but there have been contrary reports also about this hydrophilic lenses, as Ajay was just telling, about a particular company, about the fluids being used. Issues have been raised about fluids, issues have been raised about moxiflox also. But believe me, AIS is concerned. AIS is deeply concerned about its members, about the safety of patients also. And AIS has initiated some steps to get to the root of the problem. And first of the step was an email was sent by Honorary Secretary to all AIS members, and this was an advisory. This was an advisory based on the the task group information I had, and this was an advisory cautioning the members on the usage of many batches of this IULs, and more batches were being added. Second step which AIOS initiated was requesting members to send those IULs, the so-called culprit IULs, to AIOS headquarters so as to investigate, not only from the point of view of circulation, but as Namrata was saying, more importantly, and also Mahipal was saying about endotoxin levels, also monomer levels have to be determined. And third was a step which AIOS took was to send a Google survey form to all its 26,000 members, so as to have a direct data collection, so as to have a estimate what's going on. And fourth is today's meeting. And this meeting, as I said, is primarily to seek suggestions and guidance that how to take it forward. The members have already responded to our survey, and some members have already started sending. They have telephonically told us that they are sending IULs, Anaga and Manavdeep and so many other people that are sending IULs to headquarters. And we plan to, send these IULs along with whatever samples of fluid come to at least, more than one lab so that, we come back to you with the report and an objective report and an unbiased kind of report. And I personally propose that let's request Dr. J.S. Titial, who is the Chief Advisor, Government of India, so that he gives permission to use his lab to determine. And one I propose to do it from say one of the private labs, so that there is unbiased and we do not get fixation by using only one lab. And with this, you see, I request Namrata to please take it forward. And I will request that please speak one by one. We, as I said, will not discuss or any update on TASS or this thing. We'll just, focus on the AIOS role, how to take it forward. And that is my request. And only one thing is, please speak one by one so that a fruitful interaction is there. Yes, Namrata, you can take it forward now.
Thank you so much, sir. And just to reiterate what has already been said, and that is, this was the first communication which was sent on 19 December. These were the list which was given by the company, but we are aware that there are several more, and we've asked for the lists from all the members, not only of the IOLs, but also of the irrigating solutions and the incriminating viscoelastics they feel that would be a part of it. So this list is going to increase, and we will very soon circulate a updated list of irrigating solutions, OVDs, as well as IOLs. This was again the second communication which was sent, and we've requested members to send sealed intraocular lenses. And 3 people have already sent courier to us. We have lenses also from institutions, including our own, which we can also subject to the monomer as well as the endotoxin levels. This was the survey which was sent for toxic anterior segment syndrome, sent to all the members, but only to be meant to be answered by those who are having problems of TAS. And as of now, we have already received about 18 responses. And we've also requested our managing committee members to send seal to request their state members, although they may not be AIOS members, but they would be ophthalmologists who are having this problem of TAS, also to send samples to us, and also to send an advisory to them, because not all ophthalmologists are AIOS members, and the problem, AIOS member or not, is common to all ophthalmologists. And we do believe that we have to do investigations on the IOL, on the fluid, on the endotoxin levels, as well as on the monomer percentage, which is also of extreme importance especially for hydrophilic lenses. Welcome everybody who's made it possible to join today along with our governing council. And we hope to have fruitful discussions on the way forward. And this was just the responses that we've received. As of now, we've received only 17 responses. They are already there in our charts. They are incriminating the various kinds of IOLs and the irrigating solutions as well as OVDs, which include not only the IOCare company, but some few other companies also. I think with this, we take it forward, sir, and the house is open for discussion. Any inputs or any comments that people would want to give would be appreciated.
So as I said, all the respected members who are here, that this is the way AIOS has been, put into action. So I would like to receive suggestions from people one by one, that what else needs to be done from AIOS as a body.
So, Dr. Lalit sir, can I just make a point here? Arup Chakrabarti here.
One by one, I can see. Yes,
I think I must congratulate AIOS for taking it up in such a urgent manner. So my request would be, utilize this opportunity to study all the hydrophilic acrylic lenses, all the BSS solutions or ring-electric solutions, and the OVDs provided by the Indian manufacturers, and then we subject these materials for same rigorous analysis with using the same laboratory that you have suggested, just for us to get an idea. We need not pick up these samples from the companies. We can pick up the samples from from the users, from the vendors, from the end users, from the doctors, so that there is no element of bias at random, and then we can really come out of the study. These are the OVDs available in the Indian market. These are the lactate or BSS solutions available in the Indian market, and this is the study.
No, thanks, Arup, for this great suggestion. But you see, this particular time, that's an ongoing thing which we can, keep doing. But at this moment, you see, focus of AIOS is to, nail down this crisis first. And after we finish off this crisis, I will, ensure that we go on with this suggestion also. So anybody else? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir, but considering that drug control has already approved these things,
Yes.
quality control, whether they stringently monitor or not, that's a different issue. But once it's approved, they are in the market. Are we authorized to just, isolated each one of doing or something, but cumulative, are we authorized to do that one tomorrow? Should not create issue, medical legal issues?
Rohit, can you
No,
answer this? Rohit is a part of DCGI, sir.
So there is nothing that will prevent us from, monitoring. Anyway, as end users and doctors, we are supposed to report, any adverse effects, because the data collected and presented to DCGI are always on a very controlled study. So real world data should be, in fact, provided to the DCGI, and they keep correcting. Advisories keep coming. You'll notice that every once in a while they keep changing the pack insert for drugs. It's not so stringent at the moment for devices, although devices have now been listed as the same as drugs.
So Pramod, one by one, please. Pramod, I agree, since although DCGI approved does not mean that you see the end user, if he advises any ADIs that have to be reported, and AIOS has all the rights to investigate for the cause of its members and also for the patients.
No, totally agree. What I mean is individually as a protocol, all of us check the bottles, check whether it's a crack, seal is pakka, all those things we all check. But
No,
blanket, we will be able to do or not. That's the only thing my concern is.
Pramod, what we are doing is the incriminating batches, where therefore we have sent a survey. People who have had, like Namrata said, people who have had reaction, we are requesting them to send those batches, and at this moment we will just test those batches only. So that
should be fine. Yeah.
Can you please stop this screen sharing for a moment?
So, Dr. Lalit, can I say?
Yeah, Mahipal.
Okay, so as Arup said, I think it's good that AIOS has taken up this particular issue. As Rohit has rightly pointed out, and you have rightly pointed out, that any adverse drug reaction needs to be notified. So first thing is that I need you or anybody or Rohit to suggest as to there must be a particular site or any place where we need to report this particular adverse. We had put it out in the group. Dr. Mandeep had put it out. So I think it is the duty of AIOS to kind of put the adverse reactions that have been noted by various people, that this is the adverse reaction which is there. The second important thing is that, as you said, even I don't know, Dr. Tityal can bear me out, whether RP Center is the laboratory which will stand the test of time by the DGCI. There must be standard government approved laboratories where we have to send these samples, because this should be sent in a sealed cover, and we need to go down to the bottom of it. Unfortunately, what happens is that whenever such instances happen, it's the doctors who are taken to court, and it is the doctors who have been put behind the bars for infected endophthalmitis. That has happened in Tamil Nadu or Kerala, I don't remember, but there were very doctors of good standing who have been put behind the bars for a series of endophthalmitis. I don't think we need to be cagey about the whole thing, that this thing has happened, this has happened, and it needs to be taken head on.
Yes, Mahipal, we will not be cagey about it at all.
One second.
That's the reason on a Christmas day I have called this meeting.
Yeah, I am congratulating you for doing that. All that I am trying to say is that एक पहले procedure outline हो जाना चाहिए कि this is the agency that needs to be informed that these are the drug reactions, adverse drug reactions that we have had. Second is identify the agency. It should not be I have got it done from one agency. I know if the court or the first thing we contacted was Care Group. They have sent me 2 reports which says that everything is hunky-dory, everything is fine. I have 2 reports from them from where they said that everything is hunky-dory and everything is fine. Because they, and it seems to be, I don't want to comment on the report, but it seems to be something which is not a great report which is there. So we need to have an authentic report at the AIOS level. What has been done is exceptionally good, that you have said that this needs to be withdrawn. Care Group 110% has done the testing of their samples, because this has been in the air for more than a month. And they have not reported as to what are the reports of the test. The first important thing is that they need to be put on board, and they need to be said that what exactly are the investigations that have, and from a third party person that they have done. Now, the question is, not everyone has reported. Yes, in our samples, it's about 40% of the samples which is reporting higher endotoxin levels. It is not that 100% of them are reporting endotoxin level. It is not that all lenses of all that batches had TAS. But as you are yourself written a lot about ENDOF and all, it's a cluster of tasks that has happened. Not all have happened, but it has happened in a lot of cases of that particular batch on Contasol, and this thing, it has not happened in their hydrophobic. So we are not saying out of the blue that Care Group is bad or anything. We are saying that only the hydrophilic and possibly the solution which is being used for those lenses has the endotoxin level or the monomers, whatever it is. But that is something which is circumstantially proven. which is across the nation, and also there is a negative circumstantial that once we have stopped using this, we are not getting TASS. You know that this is high season of December and we are doing hundreds of cataracts, all of us are doing, and on stopping we have had this. So we need to identify, get the samples, I report to the drug advisory wherever we have to report the adverse reaction, and the national accredited lab should do the testing, and then we need to move forward. Yeah.
Correct. Absolutely okay. Thanks, Mahipal, for two inputs. One is that immediately, Namrata, you can note down this point that we will notify. That is perfectly okay. Second is, I'll, before I come to Ajay, Vaishali, and Anaga and other people, I'll request JST and Namrata to tell us about the facility at RP Center. JST, Titial.
Sir.
Yeah, thank you, Lalit. I think we do have a facility which can test all these things which you talked about. But as far as accreditation is concerned, I'm not sure, because for these type of testing, if government has given approval to any of the labs, so that I think we need to find it out. Dr. Mahipal is absolutely correct. We need to find it out which are those labs which may be accredited by government for doing these tests. And as a support, we might do in our RP center also, but that may not be authentic unless it is approved by the various agencies. And the second point,
I was expecting that at least RP Center ka lab to agree hoga.
No, sir, enable accreditation is there.
Government approval.
That should be acceptable.
Government approval. Sorry. Yeah. Government approval for doing these tests.
In any case, I have noted down this point. We will, take help and find out the only government accredited lab only. Jahan se we will get it tested.
You can get the list from DCGI. They have a list of the labs which they accredit for their products, because we had a similar experience with Ringer lactate. We got it, the bottles tested from their accredited lab. 11% of them were positive. It took us 3 years to change DCGI, and then comes this circular that please examine the bottles before, putting it into patient's eye, because they may be contaminated. So they may not take action, but they would have the list of those accreditations. So you can actually write to them that these are the
thanks. Rohit, can you help in this, getting us a list?
Sure. I have already talked to PVPI, which is the actually regulatory authority. They are the pharmacovigilance program, the national level pharmacovigilance program. They have an online form in which we can actually, individual cases we can report. But now that we have a cluster, AIOS can directly write about the entire list. I've talked to them. They, over the weekend, the moment I got it, I talked yesterday, but Saturday, Sunday, they were closed. Tomorrow, they will be holding a meeting on this. And the moment they are able to form a group, they will contact. I've given them AIOS numbers. So tomorrow, I think they will contact me back, and I have already forwarded them AIOS contact numbers.
Rohit, thanks, Rohit, and thanks, Mahipal, for this very important, and thanks to Titial also. We will definitely, as Vaishali was saying, that when she investigated, you see, we will definitely use only government-approved labs. Plus, as Titial was offering, even RP Center also we may use, so that we can, once 2-3 reports are available, we can always use all of them.
So you can also give them the samples to get it tested themselves. They do that also. The samples can be submitted with the Drug Controller of India, and they get it done their own way. Like
only thing I don't want to delay it further. You see, if we get the samples, whenever time pe nahi kiya, so I will be concerned.
Lalit, the only thing is that these samples are precious. Every one of us will have limited. I have only 2 more lenses left with me. So I am not giving it to anybody till I am sure that it is going to a government accredited lab. So these samples are precious, because if we have to nail down the situation, then these samples need to be preserved. So people are saying return it. I am sure even if it is at our monetary cost, we should not return these samples to the company, because then it goes into the cold storage. So we have to tell them that please preserve the samples. First identify and tell the people that this is the lab where we are going to send the samples. These are the labs, so that these crucial evidence samples should not be finished in testing by other labs which may not be accredited.
Absolutely. 100%.
Lenses from the people instead of company trying to take them away. AIOS can pay the money and get those lenses.
Yeah, surely. I think that is a great idea.
That's what Vishali we are doing.
Are precious samples.
Very precious samples, as Maple said. First step will be notify. Second step will be identification of lab, and then only samples will be, as very precious samples will be used.
Yes.
Okay. Any other positive suggestion, please?
Can I speak?
Whatever has been said, please don't repeat that. Only.
Sir, can I say something?
Yeah.
Can I say something, sir?
Yeah. Who's there?
Rajesh.
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 Sir, apart from the lenses, we should also, there are a lot of people who have complained of TAS with the viscoelastic as well.
That also.
So those samples, those should also be tested. And I mean, there should be a time limit for that. And then we should also issue some advisory that, with at least hydrophilic lenses should not be used.
Yes,
and these viscoelastics, which are there, they should be put on hold.
This was pointed out by Mahipal also and Namrata also in her introduction.
Yes, sir. Like a VRSI is having a committee, we report this all these adverse events. Like this, Manisha can highlight probably better on that. So AIOS do have something like that. One body identified email or identified where all these things can be reported rather than common email.
We have infection control committee, but adverse report committee we don't have.
Yeah, because VRSI has, Manisha can highlight probably on it.
Yes, Manisha.
Sir, I just wanted to make 2 points. One is that in the, I think a year back, we had a report of ETO-related endotoxin, endophthalmitis, which was reported from Chitrakoot Hospital. So it will be, I would suggest that we also collect that whether the ETO of these IOLs was done in the same unit or was there a difference in the ETO packing. And the second thing, I think what PB sir is saying, it will be a great idea if on a regular basis, AIOS has an adverse reaction form available on the website, which can be filled by any of the member, and you get the details through a Google form on a regular basis, not when a cluster happens.
We are already doing a survey, Manisha, I think, and we will convert that into a form, especially for TAS or endophthalmitis, and put it up.
Dr. Manisha, is our hydrophilic lenses done with ETO? I don't think so.
That's what I wanted to point out.
I don't think so.
All the hydrophilic lenses are steam sterilized.
Yeah, they are not.
The hydrophobic lenses are ETO sterilized.
Gamma also, I think, is used.
Yeah. So all the hydrophilic lenses are steam sterilized, and all of them have the solution, and the solution is normal saline.
So I think they use Quantasol. Ajay, I think they use the same solution जो Quantasol है ना जो हमें भेज रहे हैं.
Quantasol is BSS, sir.
हाँ तो BSS में डालते हैं वो.
No. They cannot store in BSS, sir. They are all normal saline. I found out that all the hydrophilic lenses are in normal saline.
Okay, let us go back and check. I think it is in the same solution, but in any case, let us check. It is in a solution.
And another thing which I wanted to point out is, which we were talking just before the webinar started, that in the same batch, there is clusters, while there are a lot of people who are using it and not getting any TAS. Why is it they're not getting TAS?
Any example can you give?
So I'm just giving an example of Chitrakoot, sir. 6,000 lenses used, not a single TAS.
No, Ajay, the point is that there are some people who are washing the lens much significantly or much, they have written that they wash the lens before implantation, while we just pick it up and put it so that, see, the point is that what I have also told you is that it's about 40% of the samples which are having the endotoxins. It is not that all of them are having. You don't get in every of these samples. So see, Ajay, हमारे को कोई या किसी को कोई दुश्मनी नहीं है केयर ग्रुप से. there is a circumstantial evidence that is coming out, and it is coming out very significantly across India. See, this is a
One second. Is it advisable to wash them or not? Normally,
no, there is no advisory to wash them.
We can't give an advisory, but there is no harm in washing them. But some people have said that they wash it.
Okay.
No, but manufacturer doesn't say that you wash them and use them. They are stored in BSS only.
But I know that Chitrakoot uses intracameral moxifloxacin in all the cases. Chitrakoot Hospital has that protocol, I know.
But Manisha, endotoxins have got nothing to do with
No, I am not saying for endotoxins, sir. But what I'm saying is that we need to do a process check also, that what is the step people are using? Is there any difference which has prevented? Despite being the same batch, it has not caused TAS in their surgeries.
Okay.
Dr. Nirmal Frederick is there, sir.
Let's hear.
Ashish from Chitrakoot. Just one point I wanted to highlight, sir.
Can we go one by one? Let's ask Pranjpay. Mandar.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Actually, there is what Dr. Rohit Saxena said was very true, that there is a pharmacovigilance program already present in the country. Now they have come out with an app which is there on the Play Store, which makes it easy for reporting ADR. The only thing is that the ADR has to come from individual doctors. It can't come from an association, to the best of my knowledge. So the more number of these ADRs get reported with the same batch numbers, the DGCI will have to take notice of this. There is a system in place, which I don't know if it works or not, but definitely there is a system in place. And to draw parallels, there was a similar episode with the knee implants from Johnson & Johnson few years ago. When this issue was told to them, ultimately they had to withdraw the whole batch of those knee implants from the country at a big loss to the company. As many have said, we are not inimical to any particular company, but then we have to see to it that whatever process that they are using is probably failing, their quality control is failing, and then we need to have oversight.
Manoj, thanks for pointing out that, individual has to fill up that PVPI form. Yes, Anaga, any other point you have to make?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to reiterate, sir, that there are a lot of samples we need to, so in the same batch.
What I'm saying is, please don't
check only 5 lenses. I'm not repeating, sir.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, sir, I have sent 6 or 7 samples to Delhi. But the thing is, it is possible that in those only 7 lenses, it may or may not turn out to be positive, which does not mean that there is no problem.
So Anaga, by any chance, we are not going to, submit our report based on only one batch only.
I agree, sir.
सिर्फ अनागा के नहीं है, सबके सैंपल हम करके,
collecting everyone's samples.
We will have this testing done for whosoever sends us. It's not only Naga sample we are testing.
No, I agree, sir. And in that pharmacovigilance thing, I think it is National Coordination Center is AIIMS New Delhi only.
Okay.
They have 150 ADR monitoring centers all over the country, where in Bombay, KEM and all also are there.
Okay,
and
yes.
AIIMS is supposed to be the National Coordination Center.
Adiyar, any point you want to add?
No, just wanted to reinforce what Dr. Mahipal and Dr. Anaga said. I mean, probably we need to test multiple live oils from the same batch.
That we'll do.
Yeah. That's only point.
Any other point anybody else wants to make?
I would like to add a point, Doctor. In the time we have identified the lab, which will take time, it's good idea to have a Excel sheet or a platform on the lens use, the irrigation solution use, viscoelastic, and the practices followed.
Yeah, Vaishali, that we've circulated and people have sent responses also.
Has already done that actually.
That have had and that have not had, because if you include the centers which have not had, then you can come out with what are the risk factors and publish it quickly, and that will be a very good resource point to the Drug Controller of India. And even when you are using an advisory, it won't be that you are biased against somebody,
You can include one more point, which you said, people who will fill, people who did not have what practices they use. That also is a brilliant idea. So
then we'll have to ask most AIOS members to fill it.
Yeah, no harm to have data.
Okay.
Yes, Tityal.
Just one point. I think we had a nice discussion in all these points. The basic idea of discussing or an investigation is to know the actual cause and culprit which is causing these adverse effects, so that whichever company is implicated, they can correct their system so that we don't get into same problem. So this is the basic idea of what we are discussing here, rather than for trying to do something to harm somebody. We are not doing that, as Dr. Mahipal correctly pointed out. So I'll agree to what Dr. Rajesh also said. It's the various devices which are used for intraocular surgery should also be tested apart from the IOL, so that we have a complete range of things which can cause TASS should be tested along with the IOLs also.
Absolutely, I agree. I think what Namrata stated, that questionnaire includes solutions, includes visco, includes
solutions, trypan blue dye, it includes everything actually. including the use of phaco tips. Are you reusing or are you
Yeah,
reusing your tubing? It has all the components. But
In-
yes, like Vaishali said, that we should also take it from either institutions or from people who don't have TAS. I think that would be a good idea. Even if we have a small control group with it, then it will be useful to understand the problem.
In fact, it's
Does your form also have questions like whether the IOL was washed and intracameral moxie used? Does it have those?
Yes, yes, it has. Intracameral moxie used or not used, vancomycin used or not used, it has.
So I think.
Can I add a point here?
Yes,
Dr. Nirmal Frederick, yes.
Yeah. Just couple of observations. One maybe from AOS, we can ask the members to directly report to the Pharmacovigilance Commission. They have a robust mechanism. I think it would be better we use that because it has a statutory control over the products as well. So if there are repeated complaints, and they will so moto take the matter. And of course, AOS can act and ask the members to report also.
Yeah, this has been pointed out by Manoj here.
Sir, we can collect and inform them because unless they have a large body of reporting forms, they would not set. Already we have informed them, so they are knowing this issue. In fact, they will probably have a meeting tomorrow and they will get back to us. So it would be ideal if we collect as much information as we can, because they will also relate to experts only. They will call some ophthalmologists and then start the process, which will take time. So it is ideal we collect and give them information. We can have that entire form collection that we are doing and transfer the information, while of course doctors can directly report on the PVPI website or through the app. And even the DCGI I have communicated, but again, they want a formal letter of complaint or some information before which, but again, they go by the same process. They will write to the concerned company and then ask information from them before they take any action or any related activity. So PVPI would be the better route to go.
Dr. Rohit, there is a system in place. Only thing is our members are not aware of it. Only after many people come lodged a complaint or express their opinion in the WhatsApp group, we came to know that so many people have been affected. So if our members are already educated about this, they can individually complain and we can use the system to our benefit. The second point is there is a wide variety of way the ETO or sterilization is done. And many people are re-sterilizing using various chemicals. So a lot of juhat going on. So I've gone to many hospitals for assessment. So there is no one strict format. There are a lot of chemical being used. So this actually contributes to TAS. So without knowing ourselves, we are actually adding a lot of chemicals into the sterilization process. Re-ATO, re-autoclave, all those things are happening. So the companies can actually take this as an escape route rather than take the burden on proving that.
Absolutely.
So Dr. Lalit, there is one more thing, please. We need to write to the company and put it on record. See, we have not written to the company from AIOS level or from this thing. It is all verbal, this thing that I have spoken to Vipin Duggal or anybody, this, that, and the other. We need to write to the company and ask for their formal response as to if they have done any tests or not. Let us have this on record, because tomorrow if something has to be done, if maybe tomorrow we can do a class action suit or anything like that, if they keep on denying, then we need to have our hand strengthened. See, and it is not just one instance. Even in the Alcon contact lens solution or J&J contact lens solution, there were about 5-7 years ago, there were fungal infections and they had to globally withdraw that contact lens solution and pay damages for that. And it has the same thing happened. I don't know whether you guys remember, Sainath Iyer was there. He started manufacturing from Cadila sodium hyaluronate about 15 years ago. And there were acute reactions that he gave to us, and he immediately got the endotoxin done and he withdrew that. The entire project was shelved. While this company has not come back to us with any of the reports, despite this being in the air. We have to nail them and ask them what is their response. We have had these complaints. You have just sent an advisory that this should be withdrawn. What are the reports that you have got on these, on the endotoxin levels that and they are supposed to, I don't know, Dr. Haripriya is here. She may be able to tell better. but all manufacturers are supposed to keep X amount of these samples of what they sell in their godowns or stores, whatever, for repeat testing later. I don't know, Rohit or Dr. Haripriya can bear me out that some samples have to be kept separately and they have to get these tests done and let it be on record from them as to what are their reports.
So we will
Yes,
there is no formal complaint from each of us individually also. I think maybe we should. So we would.
We will ask for a formal.
Guide us in that.
We will ask for a formal report from them.
As Mahipal was saying, that all those, we will write a formal letter to all of you. We have already written. We will request all those who have had, like Rohit was saying, that Nirmal was saying, that we collect all those things, we compile one thing and then write. We also write a copy to DCGI, to all the to care group also, that if they have preserved, batches of, like Mahipal was saying, batches of these, all companies keep some batches of whatever they distribute in the market, some batches are there. So we will, try to get those batches also from that company. And as
it should be there, Dr. Verma. There are GMP norms, good manufacturing practices norms. Till the last batch is distributed, they have to have sample in their lab. And they also have to give a certificate to the end users if we demand it. So ideal is we have to demand, if somebody purchasing a large volume, they can demand the certificate. Until the last product is used, we can have that in our things for cross verification.
Okay.
Regarding the reporting for these cases, one is of course of the survey. The other thing, like was mentioned earlier, if you could have something on our website and then people kind of report regularly on a daily basis or whenever they encounter that, and also kind of having a task steering committee who will review this periodically, who will be able to understand what it is and reach out. So I think that steering committee has to be formed, who will follow this up on a regular basis, not just one-time intervention, but on a regular basis. That's one thing I wanted to say. The second thing, as was mentioned by others, so what is the response from the company? If they don't want to withdraw, can they at least withhold selling more of these lenses? Can they at least, it could just be in a friendly manner if someone could just tell them that, until we get further reports, if they should probably not dispense more of these IOLs to the other users, having the patients and other ophthalmic community in the mind. That's something we should tell them. And also, of course, demand the report and what we intend to do, how to take this to a final closure. Regarding the intracamerals, I think there may be a role. So we have seen in the past that when we use intracamerals or the inflammations we have had for whatever reason has been a little milder. So that could be a role. And I think I'm glad that those questions have also been added onto the survey which was sent out to the different physicians.
No, another thing I wanted to just point out, recently ASCRS has also sent out an advisory on the use of intracameral moxifloxacin. And they have very clearly said that the intracameral moxifloxacin quantity and concentration, both are important. And if you don't follow that, then you may have reactions following that. So
that is something which...
Yeah, very well said, Harpriya, what you said. And I think we are discussing, both Dr. Lalit sir and myself, that we are going to have a AIOS task force for this TASS registry as well as endophthalmitis registry. That is something, which we plan to start immediately, although we had thought we would, but then I think it has to be done sooner than later. On the website.
You said about three comments. TASS, this will go on. You see this process now that we have awakened. We will have as a regular this thing, but the purpose of today's this thing was to solve the present crisis first, and like Arup also said in the beginning, for on a regular basis, AIOS will have this adverse reporting or task committee or task steering force committee. We will definitely have. And
in this instance, sir, unless we have it captured.
Why this thing is, I think no more suggestions are coming up. So
one point I want to make, sir. Can I just make one point? So what Dr. Nirmal has said, Dr. Rajesh has said, and Dr. Haripriya have said, and Dr. Namrata have said that once we ask for samples from various users, we should have a questionnaire of what practices they're following so that we can sort of make it uniform all over the country. So whatever steps
you can write down this.
Yes, sir, I just want to highlight what we had already discussed about these task force that we had thought, and this OICS is ophthalmic instrumentation and cleaning and sterilization guidelines. I think this also we had.
Add one point, please, madam.
Yes, this also we had thought that we would do this for analysis and recommendation in future.
Actually, we are talking only when the problem arises.
Yeah.
So as a AI as parent body, we should do a regular checkup, regular assessment of all solutions, viscoelastic and lenses, even if there is no problem.
So Santosh,
say every 3 months or every 6 months, we can do it.
Yeah, that's what is already pointed out before also, and we had agreed that this will be keep doing on a regular basis, and 4 or 5 people have already pointed out this. This will be done on a regular basis. But as of now, as of today, our job is to solve this crisis first, and then have on a regular basis of all the solutions, Visco as a in between you can keep testing.
Irrespective of problem, even if there is no problem, still we should
that's what that is what periodic checkup means.
Yeah,
all the companies.
Dr. Aroop's idea in the beginning was also good,
actually,
but that can be taken in a more elective manner later on.
What's the company's response? What are they saying to us right now? I mean, we don't have the formal reports with us, but what is their response as?
Informally, I think they do agree that there is a problem with the monomer, and they have sent their list, the batches list, but the list is much more because they have sent the list whosoever complained to them, so they correlated it with the batches, but I'm sure the list is much more. We've already seen there are about it's ever increasing. I mean, on the task.
So have they asked the lenses to be stopped, or have they started withdrawing the lenses? What has been
not really. They've just issued a notice not to use the same batch with a list of batches. Ideally, if there are a lot of complaints, they have to issue a recall note. So, and they have to so moto take it from all the distributors back as well as from the end users if they have still lenses left. So this is the general procedure. First, they will issue a notice not to use or keep in abeyance. Next is to recall all of the products in the market and then with the distributors, and then set in a motion where there will be a fact-finding committee or a root cause analysis committee. They will file a report and tell us what is exactly the problem with the amount of endotoxins or the sterilization.
All this should have a time frame, isn't it? I mean, they can't delay the whole process till they clear out the stock and till the problem it comes to natural end.
We have to enforce the norms. So
yeah, we need to fix up the time frame. They cannot just go on indefinitely.
No. But
we will be
Lalit, like Dr. Namrata is saying that they have informally agreed, because I haven't spoken to them. Agar informally agreed hai, hum bhi keh rahe hain ki there are some lab reports. So there are doubts that are in every forum or in every this thing. They are jaise companies trying to push ke bhai nahi hamara kuch nahi hai, ya through some people. See, the point is that the genuineness of the problem is being questioned. I think that should come to a stop, that there is a genuine problem. That should be recognized that yes, there is a genuine problem, and like Dr. Nirmal said, they have issued a clarification that this needs to be stopped to be used. We should categorically say that this should tell a root cause analysis, and then the withdrawal should also be this thing, and the people should be reimbursed for the money that they have spent. So there is a process on it, but हमारे को अपने हाथ पक्के रखने चाहिए as AIOS कि भाई हमारे पास evidence होना चाहिए कि this is circumstantial evidence before and after non-use, as also lab tests which are there, and then whatever has to be done, because these companies, I just saw in the TASS group, somebody said that there was an infection in ringer lactate. So that company says that ringer lactate is not for intracameral use or for intraocular use, so you go to hell, we won't do anything. So the problem there is that this should be a wake-up call for all companies, that AIOS or the doctors will not sit quiet if you do not follow the compliances and the proper this thing. I have visited their factory. I know it is suboptimal. So the point is that I have visited Haripriya is there without anything. Like I have visited Arvind factory, I have visited Pharmacia, I have visited Johnson. These standards have to be up. Because we get dawas of 1 crore, 2 crore, 3 crore. People have gone to jail. We do something that this cannot be repeated by other companies. This is all that I'm trying to say, is that we have to be very, very vigilant on this particular thing, because ultimately it is the reputation of the doctor, the reputation of the institution, and the and the ultimate litigation that it will save us. They have to up the quality of the products that they are selling. See, they have not taken any action. I have put it in groups. I have told them personally that the pigment that they use for anaridic lenses, for the this thing that leaches and that causes secondary glaucoma, zero action has been taken from them. Dr. Garewal put it, their IPCL lenses has hypopion, zero action from there. Ravijit, zero action. There, this thing is denial. कि भाई आपका process गलत होंगे, आप मूर्ख हो, आपको कुछ नहीं आता. That is something that we have to bring out with this episode very clearly, that often the fault is not of the doctors, but the doctor gets incriminated or blamed for that. There, the stakes are very high for the institution, for the doctors. This has to be taken, the bull has to be taken by the horns, and we have to help this improve the quality of production of all the manufacturers. That is my take on it, that we cannot just say कि भाई हाँ उन्होंने बोल दिया है कि भाई मोनोमर है, बोल दिया तो लिख के दें हमें मोनोमर है, तुम्हारी प्रॉब्लम है.
Absolutely, sir. I agree with you. There is no formal report from their side. And if they're going to test, then it should be from a proper accredited lab, like we are testing from a proper lab.
No, these are all discussed now, Anaga. Just now that Namrata and Dr. Lalit mentioned, we are going to do it. See, Dr. Namrata, I have one request. See, AIOS has been very proactive and in a very prompt manner. But still, I see comments in the various TAS groups that, I had a problem when I used this same lens, same thing lens which have been notified in our AS circular. And once you bring it to the notice of the company grounds people, they go incommunicado. We cannot contact them. So we have to ensure that our message reaches out to everybody. Somehow, we are sending messages, but still people are not, taking it seriously.
So that is the whole purpose of, having an AIOS in the forefront rather than having individual letters by A, B, C, and which they are not responding. I think society, if it reacts, they will have to do it. They will have to do it. So we have noted down all the points which have been raised by Mahipal, Arup, and all the other respected members, and we will start writing to a company also, to DCJ also, and I will appreciate you send the samples to AIOS. We will identify the government accredited lab from we will get these samples tested, and as a lot of people you have pointed out, we will have on our website on a regular basis for a quality monitoring round the year or 365 days. That I am assuring you from the AIOS side, and we will have on a periodic basis what Namrata said about the task control force and the other adversity to be reported to AIOS, so that as a body is more stronger than an individual. If they are not responding to say Greva or Mahipal or to other people, as a body we will put enough pressure on them. And as Nirmal also said that they have to send us that report till the last IOL has been used. And I on behalf of the entire membership, will set the ball rolling tomorrow itself, so that all these grievances ultimately, doctor should not be penalized for no fault of theirs. You see, he has done surgery in a good faith to the patient, and if for no fault of theirs they are penalized or jailed, it actually pains a lot, as everybody was saying.
So just to add to this, also during the endophthalmitis task force, we had thought that we would do a PIL, which would be a partial relief for the third parties to be included whenever any infection or adverse event occurs. And that first draft is already ready with our advocate. So I think we will take a look at that also, and that will also help in this issue also, because then apart from the ophthalmologists, the third parties, the manufacturers can also be then incriminated.
I remember that.
Sir, I'd like to add one point, sir. Can I?
I think with this, I think we'll thank everybody.
Okay.
And let the ball rolling, and we will be in touch with our members through email, and we will also keep putting whatever we are doing on email, and also on that task which has been group which has been formed by Dr. Chetan.
Dr. Chandrasekhar wanted to say something.
Yes, sir. Sir, I would like to reinforce one point, sir. Across the country, everybody is talking about TAS. We are going in the right way. But there are reports of cluster end-offs occurring. So people should also be educated on this. If they think it is TAS and go on treating an infective end-off, then it may be too late to treat. There are reports openly. So this is also has to be educated. Let us not forget there is infective endophthalmitis still occurring and clusters are being reported, actions are being reported. I thought I'll make a mention of this. Yes, sir.
After this is not the end of story. Between us, we have been talking about it. From today onwards, we will have physical meetings also to educate people about updates. Various a lot of other people have sprung into action. A lot of workshops will be held by AIOS also to formulate guidelines about a lot of things about TASS, endophthalmitis, cleaning procedures, ETOs. So many things will start occurring now. So this meeting was called only to take guidelines from all of you to set the ball in motion. And believe me, this is just a beginning, so that the members or the doctors are always not penalized. That is the hallmark. Okay. With this, I think we thank all of you. And believe me, from tomorrow onwards, you will see something starts immediately. So thanks everybody for joining on Sunday morning, and thank you for all your inputs.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir.
It's a